This is the Unshakable Mind series, episode 17. The silent cost of seeking approval. Most people will never admit it, but many people are not living from conviction. They are living for approval. The need to be accepted, validated, praised, and understood by everyone. And because of that, people betray themselves every day. Some silence their real opinions to fit in. Some stay in unhealthy environments because they fear rejection. Some abandon their purpose because criticism arrived too early. That is dangerous because the moment your identity depends on external validation, your peace is no longer in your control. Now understand this carefully. Approval is not the problem. The problem begins when approval becomes emotional oxygen. When criticism destroys your confidence, when silence makes you insecure, when being misunderstood feels unbearable, there is emotional dependency. And emotionally dependent people eventually lose authenticity. Instead of asking, is this aligned with my purpose? They ask, will people approve of this? That single shift changes everything. People start editing themselves for acceptance, their voice, their standards, their convictions, until one day they look successful publicly but feel empty privately because they build their life around performance instead of the truth. An unshakable mind cannot be built on public opinion. Why? Because public opinion is unstable. People praise you today and criticize you tomorrow. Some support you only when your growth remains comfortable for them. That is why inner authority matters. Inner authority means you can receive correction without collapsing and receive praise without becoming addicted to it. It means you can stand alone without becoming insecure. That is strength. And let me challenge you deeper. Not everybody will understand your evolution. Let me say that again. Not everybody will understand your evolution. And if misunderstanding terrifies you, you will keep shrinking yourself just to remain acceptable to people. But greatness has never been built by shrinking. It has always been built by conviction. And another silent cause of approval seeking is resentment, because people who constantly perform for acceptance eventually become angry that nobody truly sees them. But how can people know the real you if you are always performing? That is why authenticity matters. Not arrogance, not rebellion, but grounded authenticity. The courage to stand in truth without drama. Now, listen carefully. Seeking wisdom is different from seeking approval. An unshakable person still listens, still learns, still values mentorship, but they do not surrender their identity to public consensus. And many people stay trapped because they fear disappointing others more than they fear disappointing themselves. So they continue betraying their future for temporary acceptance, but eventually reality collects the debt. Years later, they feel disconnected from themselves because they abandon their inner voice too many times. So if you want to become emotionally stronger, learn to tolerate misunderstanding without panic. Learn to survive criticism without emotional collapse. Learn to make aligned decisions without needing universal approval. Because emotional maturity is not becoming emotionless, it is becoming internally stable. And stability is power. So, here is the question. Am I building my life from conviction or from the fear of rejection? Because your answer to that question will shape your future. You do not need universal approval to walk in purpose. Build a mind that remains grounded even when validation disappears. Because the strongest identity is not built on acceptance from the crowd, it is built on alignment with the truth. Remain unshakable.